quite a lot of time, and I've been in daily and hourly contact with the Premier and the ministers, as well as the commanders who have been conducting all the activities here. We obviously, as a government, are extremely concerned about what happened here. And we are doing everything to deal with it. And it's quite clear that all these incidents of unrest and looting were instigated. There are instigators, there were people who planned it, they coordinated it, and our intelligence services and our police have now got a line of sight of what actually was happening here with the instigation and with the coordination and the planning. And we are after those people. We are going after them. We have identified a good number of them. And we will not allow anarchy and mayhem to just unfold in our country. It is most unfortunate that so much damage has been done to the country and people have lost their lives. That is the most concerning issue. And here in KZN alone, 95 people have already lost their lives. There's been complete destruction of the livelihoods of people. People are now going to go forward having lost jobs, and the economic damage that has been done, including just looking at our country from both internal investors as well as external investors as an economic destination, has been severely dented. So we've really been taken backwards on our path for economic recovery. Yes, security forces have tried the very best that they could. I've been talking to our officers here, our provincial commissioner, the minister and the others. Yes, we could have done better, but we were overwhelmed by a situation, and primary in the minds of the Minister of Police and the commanders was to save lives, to make sure that we did not get into a situation which could have resulted in more mayhem. And as Minister of State Security has also said in the past, the situation could have been much worse. And our security forces came to the party and did the very best they could. Now, we regret, obviously, the situation that has resulted in this. This is not what we want to see in our country. And obviously we are going to have to re-examine everything that we do in defense of our people, in defense of the assets of the country. But right now I'd like to say that we are rolling out our security forces. 25,000 soldiers are now being rolled out, and in a short space of time they will have flooded the entire province and other provinces such as Gauteng as well. So this is most unfortunate where we are.
CNN.
Mr. President, ordinary citizens have taken the law in their hands and they feel by the state. Why did it take so long to secure these regions?
Yes, ordinary citizens have felt that they need to defend their areas, to defend their assets, and we welcome the fact that ordinary citizens are working together with the security forces, are standing up not only to defend their own assets, but they are also defending our democracy, because they can see that this is an assault on the democratic situation that we have in our country. So they are standing up, and we applaud that our people themselves see that there is a lot at stake, and the instigators want to spread instability in the country, and we don't know what their full and true intentions are, but the democratic state is what our people are defending, as well as their assets. So yes, we have said that we could have acted quicker, but they are now joining hands with us as the state working together. Now, many of our people are working together. The religious community, the business community, ordinary people in their homes, in the streets of our country. They are now cleaning up the country, cleaning up the towns, and which demonstrates that the intentions of the instigators is failing, has actually failed, because it is our people who are coming now to the defense of all our people, working together with government, but also coming to the defense of our democracy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Thank
there
you.
is a war going on in Phoenix. Are you going to Phoenix after the Africans are being killed, Mr. President?
The Minister of Police was on his way to Phoenix, and when I was coming here, he paused for a while, and our local leaders, the Premier, our MECs, are going to have to deal with that type of situation. I wanted to go myself, but time now is of the essence. We are going to have a cabinet meeting later, so I have got to go back to Gauteng. But I'm here now, encouraging and holding the hands of all our people on the ground, and also directing the security forces and getting them to go to those areas that are volatile at the moment. That's precisely what we are doing.
Mr. President, what did you mean by ethnic mobilization statement? But also, number two, will you be partnering former President Jacob Zuma?
Now, initially, as we looked and listened to some of what was being said in voicemails, there were suggestions that some of the instigators were using terms that seemed to appear to be ethnic mobilization. I mean, they were, for instance, using terms like Lili Venda, Lili, and so forth, meaning me. And that can't mean anything but some measure of ethnic sentiment. And when I said later, we then analyzed the situation, analyzed it with all our leaders, and we came to no, this is not about ethnic mobilization. Yes, it seemed to appear, and I've been clarifying. And right now, with the beyond ethnic mobilization, we also concerned the racial aspect, because it's beginning to flare up. One community is pitted against another. Now, that is things that we've got to deal with. There are also the criticism against even me for having suggested ethnic mobilization. I see it in positive light, because it means that as South Africans, we are disavowing any notion of ethnicity. And this, in my book, which is the flip side of what I said, means that we are saying we are united as a nation, and what the forebears of the ANC said when the ANC was formed, that we must kill the demon of ethnicity and tribalism, is still alive today. And that to me was clear confirmation. So I will say it once again, this, as it has manifested itself, is not about ethnic mobilization at all. Much as it seemed to rear its head at the beginning, it is not. It is about, yes, there are many causes to this, and we will talk about that later. But the issue of former President Jacob Zuma, yes, our provincial leadership and a number of people have been suggesting that we should look at a variety of measures of dealing with a difficult situation where the court has made a ruling and where President Jacob Zuma must be credited and applauded for having complied with what the court did rule. And he has to be applauded for that. We're giving consideration to all the issues and the proposals that are being put forward to us. So until then, let's leave the matter where it is. Thank you very much.
Sorry, may I get this? May I get this, please? Okay, that is President Cyril Ramaphosa there addressing the media as we try to get our mics here from the hard-working Terrence from the presidency. And well, it's just a friendly really here, but for now, if we can come this side with Bonga Mkhize to see the president living here. He is living Kwamashu here, which is a bridge city. Just a second. Okay. The president is leaving Kwamashu Bridge City Mall, one of the malls that were affected by this. Well, diplomatic as always, but we did put some questions to him about his statements regarding what he termed ethnic mobilization. He seems to be withdrawing that and retracting that. Look at the amount of security accompanying the president here. You can tell that this is the man who is under siege. This is a man who's been missing in action when his country has been burning. He is even coming here to one of the lesser affected malls in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm talking about Bridge City. He's not going to Pietermaritzburg. He's not going to Phoenix, only leaving that to his Police Minister, General Begitele. The question is, what's next now? How is he going to rebuild this country that has been ravaged by what clearly government downplayed and took it for granted?
Sipa, is Cyril Ramaphosa entering very hostile ANC territory?
He is in a very hostile ANC territory, and I can tell you that he knows that very well, and he is trying by all means. You know, this visit, one can really say it's one of those PR exercises. He's been missing in action for a week now. More than 100 people are dead, damage to infrastructure. The only thing he has done was those two addresses to the nation, but even then he did not give clear indication and clear program of action as to how he plans to deal with the chaos and anarchy in the country. Even now, he seems to suggest that, and I will ask Bonga Mkhize to come with me. I see a number of soldiers that have come out here. Look at that. That's a tanker there, the soldiers. Look at the contrast. This is the President of the Republic of South Africa. Heavily guarded, of course. The threat of security is high here, it's visible, but look at the soldiers here rolling the streets for President Cyril Ramaphosa. You can tell that this is a country at war with itself. This is a country that has been ravaged by looting, by rampant violence, and this is a country that is rebuilding. And on top of it, this is the country that has seen its president missing in action when all of this has been playing out. These are the scenes here in Kwamashu Bridge City as we speak. The president has left. Obviously a number of police personnel that are out here is massive. Look at these tankers here. I think it's a number of them. We'll take a walk. Please stay with us, Anika. We'll try and go across so that Bonga Mkhize will bring you these visuals. And I can tell you that look at this. You only
like
see
KZN
this in a war zone, Anika. I'm sure about that.
It looks
and
like
right
KZN
now,
in the 80s, Sipa. It's
that this resembles a war zone. This is a situation here on the ground, and Bonga Mkhize is showing you these. The army that's been deployed across Natal and some parts of Gauteng. These visuals is on TV in war crisis in war-torn countries. Can tell you that much. This was a show of force. Maybe it was a message under control. His defense is here. His state security under Lotto is here, as well as Police Minister General Begitele are here. So the entire security cluster is in KwaZulu-Natal, which has seen more than 90 people dead across the country. The death toll has risen to about more than 100. So you can really tell that there's been a lot of devastation, human lives, infrastructure, and other elements of the society. Everything destroyed here. You're talking of malls, you're talking everything has been destroyed, and the president has action. And even when he's a week later, he's not providing much as to how did his security personnel and security sleep on the job.
Sipamandla, you and I have both been critical about the fact that Ramaphosa has not been seen this week. Realistically, could he really have gone into KZN before today?
I'm struggling to hear you, but yes, he has been criticized for not being seen, on the ground when all of this has been happening. Today he tried to make up for that, but it's a little bit too late. The country has burned. The country is now in the process of regrouping and rebuilding, and I can tell you that much, that yes, he is coming out now when it's quite to do so. He's coming out now to paint a very clear, positive picture that, we are rebuilding, we are not destroying. But I can tell you that many people will continue to question him about his lack of visibility on the ground. It's only Police Minister Begitele that did come to KwaZulu-Natal, as I see a police helicopter circling around here, and those dramatic visuals of the army just on the streets of KwaMashu Bridge City. Yes, President Cyril Ramaphosa is trying very hard to paint a picture of a man in charge, but the situation on the ground is really different. And he seems to be alluding that this well-coordinated anarchy has got something to do with the regime change agenda, but he's not saying it frankly.
Sipamandla, I know you're probably wanting to rush off to the president's next destination. Did he seem like a statesman that was in control to you? We've both covered the president on many occasions. What was your sense of his demeanor?
It was someone who is confused, someone who's really shocked, someone who is angry, at the same time someone who is scared, not knowing what the future holds for him. It's someone who wants to inspire confidence, but he is hamstrung by the situation on the ground. It's someone who's really trying hard to defend his administration, which has been caught napping in this whole crisis. He did paint a picture of someone in charge, but his demeanor was painting a totally different picture. Even a number of questions that he wanted to take from the media, only 2 questions he wanted to take, but we couldn't allow him to do that. We had to press him on answering more questions. Of course, we had more questions to ask, but his security detail and his staff members at the presidency, they were really on a hurry to get him out of here. This was a quick hit. It's a president who lands, takes a walkabout of about 2 minutes, briefed on the spot, all well choreographed here for PR purposes, and then after that, he is just being whisked away, without really providing concrete answers. This is his first visit to KwaZulu-Natal, which has been ravaged by what has happened. But for him to be on this very quick tour here, he has just landed, he came here, and then he has left. He said, of course, there is a cabinet meeting that he needs to attend to. We do understand that the president is always busy, but yes, for a province that is at the center, that is the most affected in terms of this chaos and anarchy, would have expected the president to go to various places, and of those places, there is no way that President Ramaphosa can come to KwaZulu-Natal and do not go to Pietermaritzburg, where bodies have been picked up on the streets. We were there yesterday when that was happening.
Sipa, thank you so much. We will keep track with you for the rest of the day. Sipamandla Goge, they're tracking President Cyril Ramaphosa, who's just arrived in KZN, surrounded and followed by a convoy of rolling tanks. A scene right out of a war zone, is what Sipamandla said, and I have to agree with him.